really no secret that the Fiesta ST is awesome. With incredible handling, lightweight, accessible price range, and honestly just being one of the best hot hatches Ford has ever made. Unfortunately, the Fiesta ST is no longer with us, ending production a couple years ago. But I got an email saying, "Hey David, I have a big turbo Fiesta ST and I would love for you to drive it." So naturally, I couldn't resist. So what happens when you put nearly 300 wheel horsepower in the tiny Fiesta ST? Honestly, it's amazing. So let's go for a drive and talk about it. Before we move on with today's video, I just want to give a huge thanks to today's sponsor, Titan. Are you ready to invest but you're not quite sure where to start? Titan takes the guesswork out of investing and manages your money for you. And with Titan, you can ride shotgun alongside of a team of dedicated, experienced analysts as they allocate your money and let you in on it along the way. Titan is the first investment platform for everyday investors that want their money actively managed by a team of experts. They offer 3 equity portfolios and America's first actively managed crypto portfolio. And since launching each portfolio, Titan has outperformed the benchmark in 3 of 4 portfolios of an after fees basis. And they aim to grow your investments 15% annually, which would imply doubling your wealth every 5 years net of fees. And you'll even see exactly how your money is being managed through video, audio, and written updates on their mobile app. So join the smarter way to invest with Titan, and all it takes is $100 to get started. And right now, if you use my URL, which is linked down in the description below, titan.com/blue, you'll get your first 3 months of investment management for 0 fees. That's titan.com/blue for 0 fees. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are in a 2016 Ford Fiesta ST, one of my favorite cars ever put on the market by Ford, and in my opinion was during what I call the Ford Renaissance. What I mean by that is, just out of nowhere, Ford decided to be cool. They essentially create the Coyote motor, then they come out with the Fiesta and Focus ST, so that was a little bit of a European flair for the United States, and we did have the SVT Focus, but that was kind of a rarity. You don't see that often. Oh yeah, by the way, side note, Celine made a SVT Focus with nitrous in it from factory. I just felt like telling you that. I thought it was cool. Moving forward, Coyote motor, and then GT350, an 8250 RPM Shelby, naturally aspirated, making over 500 horsepower. They were just doing the right thing. Then they came out with the Focus RS, which a lot of people traded the Fiesta ST to get the Focus RS. So the Fiesta ST is such a fantastic car because it's lightweight, it's easy to drive, it has incredibly good driver feel, bolt-ons just work. And is this thing like a horsepower monster? No, but that's kind of the point. Normal turbo in this car is all about the mid-range. Basically, you get on it, it spools super fast, and then it's gone. So essentially, you get to like 5,000–6,000 RPM and it tapers off, but it makes it very controllable and user-friendly. This is a little bit different. So today, we're in an upgraded turbo Fiesta ST, which when I got the email for this, I was so freaking excited because just putting a bigger turbo in a car this small, that just tickles my fancy. That sounds amazing. Basically, it's an ST80 upgraded turbo. Essentially what it is you take the normal turbo and you just make it bigger. So when I say upgraded turbo, think of it as more of like a housing upgrade and a little bit bigger. It is a separate turbocharger, but you put it in essentially the factory location, which is really hard to film, by the way. You can't see it at all, so it makes it essentially a sleeper in a way. So you could literally go to a car event, car meet, whatever, and be like, yeah, it's stock, it just makes cool noises. I put a tile blow off on it. The short shifter in this is a little tricky to get used to at first, but one, it looks really cool. Second, it feels really cool, and it has really sharp, satisfying shifts. So once you get the hang of it, you can just go through the gears like nobody's business. Side note, driving this thing around normally, and you can just barely get in it, it has tons of character, and it's just fun to be that guy. Like you're against a wall or in a tunnel or in the mountains against the trees, you're gonna be having a good time. The Fiesta ST, a lot of people did not give it a chance because it was the little old guy compared to the Focus ST, which had power and a little bit of oversteer, believe it or not. They kind of tuned in the suspension to give it a little bit of oversteer to give it that slidey feeling sometimes. But the Fiesta ST is like this grip monster, like for autocross. It checks boxes everywhere. Autocross, circuit racing, you name it, it could do it. Fiesta ST It is one of the best cars Ford's ever made, in my opinion, in the past 10 years. And it's a shame it's gone. The interior, a lot of people, when they see the gauges, they're like, oh yeah, but the gauges aren't like super digital and new agey anymore. And I'm like, just deal with it. It works. It's a driver's car. It's a term every journalist says in the world. It's a driver's car, but it's a driver's car. And another thing, people go, oh, but it's front wheel drive. And honestly, you shouldn't care. It doesn't really matter, because that's almost what makes it fun, because you can push through the corners super hard, you can modulate throttle, and it's not gonna throw you off a cliff. The turbo itself, what's really nice about it is that when you're driving around town, it's driving a Fiesta ST. It doesn't feel that different, it just sounds a lot cooler. So first gear, basically, first gear is worthless. Second gear is pretty good. Third gear is probably rolling out. But we also have Toyo tires, really sticky tires, 888s essentially. They're gonna stick. If you're in the rain, you're gonna have a problem. But other than that, pretty good. The subtle little things you can do with the Fiesta ST without going overboard, it's just a neat little car, and it's fantastic. Okay, I'm intrigued. All right, also you get the beautiful stereotypical kind of wastegate sound. This is so different compared to a normal Fiesta. Because sometimes when you drive the upgraded turbo cars, it removes all the character of the original car, right? Because you go, oh, it was great because it had that low end power and that low end torque, and now you just have to wait too long. This thing spools pretty fast, and especially if you're in the RPMs on a mountain road or something all the time, you would not even notice. You just have a ton more power, and it's a usable power band. By the way, this car is pretty much unusable with the traction control on. It's just not, it'll just bog out basically. With it off, it's way more fun to drive, and if it does spin, you can modulate the throttle or just power through it. That's even more fun. Brakes are good. You know when you beat the snot out of some cars and they're like, please stop, I want to go home. This car is like, give me more. Like, it just loves everything you do. It makes no sense. So, by the way, for you guys watching, this is on 93 octane. And a lot of people take the Fiestas and put them on like E30 or E85 or whatever, but on 93 octane, you're still making like almost 300 wheel horsepower in a car that looks like this. Now let's talk about torque steer. You might have noticed a little bit of torque steer, but it is so manageable to the point that it really doesn't matter. The car is on factory struts while we have almost 300 wheel horsepower. The lowering springs really help it, and the lowering springs are designed to handle the factory struts. So therefore, you're good to go. A lot of people do coilovers, but honestly, this ride's really nice. It feels really good. I think I would just keep it this way, because you're still kind of keeping that factory geometry with everything. And don't cut your springs, kids, because you're stupid. I'd say the only bad thing for some people is, yeah, you're not gonna have the response of the normal itty bitty turbo, because the factory turbo is probably the size of my palm. Like, it's so tiny. It's almost like what you'd find at an old like Saab or something like that. What is this? Oh, how about that? We merged. Let's talk about drone, exhaust, stuff like that. Completely fine. Like, you'd think with the bigger turbo and everything else that it would be absolutely miserable, right? But it's not. All you get in return is better sound. But it doesn't have highway drone. That's really annoying where you get that subwoofer in your ear. It doesn't have any of that. All right, big turbocharged Fiesta ST. What do I think of it? I would own one. 100%. If the prices weren't as high as they are right now because of, I don't know, life, you know, everything going on in the world, everything, I would 100% pick up a used Fiesta ST and do exactly this. This is just a great car as a daily driver. It checks the boxes of the fun turbo sound, so if you're into that kind of stuff, it definitely does that. This is usable, it's daily drivable, it's comfortable enough. The interior of the Fiesta is just fine, especially for the price point. These seats are really comfortable in my opinion. You could go hours in these seats and I'm okay at least, but what do I know? I'm just a lanky little human being. But at the same time, highly recommend it. If you are looking into doing this turbo setup, do it. If you have the budget, do it. You're not gonna completely jeopardize the character of the car. You're gonna really enjoy it. And you can run it on 93 octane, and that's even better. So, on that note, I upload on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, and I'll see you guys next time, and Fiesta. I'll see you. Bye-bye.